Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Also, make sure to check out the new merchandise, the third wave of the third wave merchandise, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So the Fed meeting is tomorrow. It's gonna be very important. Now, obviously, if we get bad news, and I told you this, we could get some type of correction after that. But even if we do, that's just gonna give us a faster cross on the bull market support band, because the red line right here will go lower and the green line will most likely stay the same, meaning that at some point something like this will happen. So it's still gonna be bullish no matter if QE starts and no matter if QT stops. I mean, here for example, when Cardano went up like 300%, we were in QT the entire time, and people forget about this and they do not seem to like it when I say this, but in the 2017 cycle, the whole altcoin season happened while we were in QT, and people only seem to focus on what happened here. Now, of course, there are some people that say that, maybe looking at the past is not the best idea, but even if you do not do that, and even if you just look at the cycle, I mean, Bitcoin dominance has been going up since about September of 2022. Maybe you even can say that it has been going up since this low right here of May of 2021. And as you know, all charts, even though they could go up for a very long time, at some point they will go down. I mean, here for example, we went up from January of 2018 to about December of 2020, and then we had the correction. And right now, of course, I mean, this move to the upside took way longer. However, that does not mean that it's not going to drop at some point. And when it does drop, I think people are going to start being extremely confused, because, well, people do not want to look at what happened in the previous cycles because they think that's a bad idea. But you have to keep in mind, if in the previous cycle you did what we are doing right now, and if you looked at what happened in the previous cycle before 2021, as you can see here, we had a big Bitcoin dominance drop, and you could have said that maybe in this cycle we do the exact same thing and we get a correction after this move to the upside. And well, that exact thing happened, and right now I think it's gonna happen again. No matter if we stop QT or if we start QE, I think Bitcoin dominance, after it gets to 66%, it's gonna have a big drop. And well, I mean, if you look at the Ethereum chart right now, I told you this, but it's getting rejected by the moving average on the weekly chart, and it's not looking too great. So the chances of us getting another low and getting to like $1,400, I mean, they're still there. I told you, if we do not manage to get above $2,100 to break out of this downtrend, then we could get another low or maybe some kind of higher low and get to the oversold territory on the weekly and close a wick there before we get a move to the upside. So I've been telling you that for many weeks, probably months at this point, and people, they were starting to doubt me, because I mean, here Ethereum was going up, but now it's going down again. And well, maybe we're getting to the oversold territory after all. Maybe you got too bullish, and maybe right now you'll get punished for it. Of course, I mean, even if you bought right now, it's okay, I think. I mean, we are in the support zone, so I think in the next couple of months it's gonna be okay no matter what. Now, looking at the Cardano chart, a similar thing is happening. As you can see, we also got rejected here by the moving average on the weekly RSI, and well, that's still okay, because as you can see, the cross on the bull market support band is most likely happening very soon. Now, maybe it's gonna take another couple of weeks, but they are getting closer to each other, the red line and the green line, so that's a bullish thing. And I've been talking about the crosses on the bull market support band for, I think, years at this point. Of course, I was not making videos back then, but I was looking at the charts, and I always noticed that after a cross on the bull market support band, Cardano gets a big pump, and they got it right here, for example. It got it right here. It even happened in the previous cycle a couple of times. I mean, here, after it had this cross right here, it had a huge wave move to the upside. Of course, I mean, it was cancelled by the pandemic drop, but you could have said that, maybe it would have continued. And well, as you can see here, when we started going down, we only started going up again a lot after we got a cross on the bull market support band. So that's why it's important to look at that, and that's what we're waiting for right now. We are waiting for the cross, and if the Fed decides that they don't want to stop QT or they don't want to start QE, that's still okay in my opinion, because I mean, we are very close to bottoming. In my opinion, I think we have already bottomed, and if we have not, then we could get some type of triple bottom over here. I don't really see that happening, but it is possible. And yes, we are going sideways, and yes, we have been going sideways for many weeks now, but people seem to forget about what happened right here when we were going sideways. Here, I mean, the situation was pretty similar. We were going sideways for months, even after I crossed the bull market support band, and of course, people were bearish because Cardano was not doing anything, but I was telling you back then that at some point we will have a 1-2 setup of the main third wave, and what do you know, we did just that. We had the first wave move right here. Of course, during this time people started buying, and then when Cardano was going down, after they bought at like $1.30, they came to my channel and they started talking about Cardano in a bad way. They started, saying that Cardano is a shitcoin and it's dead and stuff like that, just because they bought right here. So please do not be one of these people. I even warned you back then. If you go into my video list and you scroll down and you look at what I was saying in my titles when we were doing this, I believe I had a title that says please do not FOMO in, and people still did it, of course, because they thought Cardano would be at like $50 by the end of the cycle, which is obviously not realistic. And if someone tells you that, then maybe reconsider watching them, because I mean that's not really a smart thing to say. But anyways, and well, please do not be one of these people. Maybe just try buying stuff when it's in the support zone. Of course, that's not financial advice, but that's exactly what I said right here. Maybe right here was a good time to buy, and well, I mean, if you look at what happened after that, I mean, yeah, it was a good time to buy. Cardano got to the 0.618 support level. This was exactly the 0.618 support level, and what do you know, right now we are also at the 0.618 support level, or at least we were at the support level. And well, look at what happened over here. So what makes you think that it's not going to happen again, especially with Bitcoin dominance always almost being at 66%? I think the market is ready, but it could take another couple of weeks, and that's perfectly fine. If we do not get to all-time highs by the second week of June, that's okay, because if Bitcoin does not get the summer drop, and if it keeps going up until like September or October, I mean, not getting to all-time highs by the end of the second week of June is not gonna be that bad. However, if Bitcoin actually gets the summer drop, then yeah, that could put us at, bear market lows on some altcoin charts. But until that happens, and well, I mean, I'm not gonna say that it's gonna happen or it's not gonna happen, because I have no idea. But when we do get to that point, I'm gonna talk about it, so please stop worrying so much about that. Now let's talk about the short term for a bit, because I mean, this is what we are here for, I think. And well, let's start on the daily, because I mean, what's happening on the daily is kind of important. As you can see, we got below the moving average here after testing it a bunch of times, and I'm talking about the moving average on the RSI. We got below it, which means that at some point, if we do not manage to get back above it, this could lead to a much bigger correction, which could put us back to the 0.618 support level. Now, speaking of that, let's go on the 4-hour chart, and that's what's happening over there, so we can understand what could happen next. And well, the support level is still being respected. As you can see, we pretty much had a double bottom here, and then we had another reaction to the 50% support level. And could we get another low? Well, obviously this could turn into a much bigger ABC structure, and I think that's actually gonna happen. So let me put this right here. The next target, at least right now, is 64.9 cents. That's the 0.618 support level of the first wave to the upside. It's the support zone for the second wave. And if we do not hold there, then the last support zone would be right here at 62.4 cents. Now, if we go so low, that would also put us in the oversold territory on the 4-hour chart, and that's actually gonna be very bullish. The last time we got to the oversold territory was right here when Cardano was at like 50 cents. So if we get to like 62 cents and we are already oversold, that's obviously gonna be good, because that could give us a pump, and the third wave right here could still happen. Now the target for that is still 85.8 cents. That's the third wave of this one to set up. The other third wave of the first one to set up right here, the target for that is 87 cents. Now I think it's gonna get to like at least like 90 cents, but that's just my opinion. And well, obviously we also need to get back above the bull market support band and the 200-day moving average, and if that happens in the next couple of days, it could be very bullish. But please not get overly bullish, because even if we get above it, I think we are gonna retest it at some point, so be aware of that. Now I also want to talk about the S&P 500. I talked about this yesterday, but basically the S&P 500 is currently at the bull market support band, and this is gonna help us, understand what could happen next. If the S&P gets rejected right now, that could lead to a big correction in the market, and you're probably wondering what this has to do with crypto. Well, I mean, each time the S&P goes down, Bitcoin follows it, so if we get rejected right here, Bitcoin will most likely go down. Now, speaking of Bitcoin, it's actually looking extremely good, whether you like to believe it or not. As you can see, right now we're actually in an uptrend. I can actually put a trend line on the chart, and well, we are in an uptrend on the price chart, but on the RSI we are in a downtrend, and this is actually extremely bullish because yes, we could, get another low and maybe test the bull market support band here, but that's gonna put us in the oversold territory on the 4-hour chart, and I don't think people understand how bullish this is. The last time we got to the oversold territory on the 4-hour chart, on the Bitcoin chart, was right here when Bitcoin hit this low at $74,000, and right now we're about to do it again, but this time we are above the bull market support band, and we'll most likely test, the bull market support band, and then we could get the downs. So I think Bitcoin is very close to getting to all-time highs again. People do not want to believe that. People think we are in a bear market, obviously, because people do not want to look at, what happened in this cycle so far. I mean, it's the exact same pattern every single time. I've been talking about this for pretty much months at this point. I'm not going to talk about it today in this video, but if you look at the RSI, I mean, just pause the video and look at, the RSI and look at where it bounced every single time. It's the exact same pattern every single time, and people, are pretty much blind and they do not want to understand that, but it is what it is. And well, the data shows us that Bitcoin will most likely be at all-time highs in the next couple of weeks. Now, if it's not, then we're most likely waiting for a cross on the bull market support band first, and then we could get to $140,000 by the second week of June. And I mean, Cardano, if Bitcoin does that, then I think Bitcoin dominance will most likely start dropping, and when that happens, the third wave of the third wave could finally start, and the target for that is $3.50. So we'll see if we get there or not. Also, people do not seem to understand that Cardano can actually go up that much in a very short period of time, and they keep saying that there's no, volume or something like that, and that's just nonsense. That's just FUD, in my opinion. I mean, here, of course, we had volume, but keep in mind, I mean, during this time, Bitcoin dominance was dropping like crazy. So of course, there's no volume right now if Bitcoin dominance is not dropping. But once it starts dropping, the volume is going to go insane. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, it doesn't even matter. I'm just, replying to the comments right now. So, well, I'm still bullish and I'm still waiting for Cardano and the other markets to go up. And until that happens, well, it's going to be a boring couple of days or maybe a next couple of weeks, but after that we should be fine. And yeah, we're still waiting for the cross in the bull market support band. Like I said, check out the YouTube memberships and the Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates for only like $5 a month. Also, check out the third wave of the third wave merchandise. We have a bunch of designs. Now, in case you think this is too expensive, you could also get some stickers or a mug or something like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.